The moment God had been waiting for was here at last. God was coming to save his people just as he promised in the beginning. But how would he come? What would he be like? What would he do? Mountains could have bowed down, seas could have roared, trees could have clapped their hands, but the earth held its breath. And when no one was looking, in the darkness, he came. There was a young girl who was engaged to a man named Joseph. Joseph was a direct descendant of King David. One morning, this girl, named Mary, was doing some chores around her home when suddenly a large highlighted figure appeared right there in front of her. The figure was Gabriel, an angel with a special message from heaven. When she saw the shining angel standing there, Mary was frightened. "You don't need to be scared," Gabriel said. "God is very happy with you." Mary looked around to see if perhaps the angel was talking to someone else. "Mary," Gabriel said, with a voice that was so comforting that Mary's eyes filled with sudden tears. "Mary, you're going to have a baby, a little boy, and you will call him Jesus. He is God's own son. He is the one. He is the rescuer. The God who flung planets into space and kept them whirling around and around. The God who made the universe with just one word. The one who could do anything at all was making himself small and coming down to our world as a baby." Wait, God was sending a baby to rescue the world? "But it isn't possible," Mary said, and felt her heart beating hard. "How can it be true?" "Nothing is impossible for God," Gabriel announced. So Mary trusted God with more than what her eyes could see, and she believed. "I am God's servant," she said. "Whatever God says, I will do." Sure enough, it was just as the angel had said. 9 months later, Mary was almost ready to have her baby. Now, at that time, Mary and Joseph had to go to Bethlehem, the town where Joseph's ancestor, King David, was from. They had to go there in order to register for a census as ordered by Caesar Augustus. In the evening, when they reached the little town, they found every inn was full, every bed was taken. Where would they stay? Soon Mary's baby would come. Finally, Joseph asked an innkeeper for a suggestion, and he showed them an old tumble-down stable where cows and sheep and horses stayed. So Mary and Joseph decided to stay in the stable, bedding down in the hay and the straw. And there in the stable, amongst the animals in the quiet of the night, God gave the world his wonderful gift. The baby that would change the world was born, God's baby son. Mary and Joseph wrapped him up to keep him warm. They made a soft bed of straw and used the animal's feeding trough, called a manger, as his cradle. And they gazed in wonder at God's great gift, wrapped in swaddling clothes and lying in the manger. Mary and Joseph named Jesus Emmanuel, which means God is with us, because, of course, he was. Now, that same night, amongst the other stars, suddenly a bright new star appeared. Of all the stars in the dark vaulted heavens, this one shone clearer. It blazed in the night and made the other stars look pale beside it. God put it there when his baby son was born, to be like a spotlight, shining on him, lighting up the darkness, showing people the way to him. God had put a special star in the sky to show where his boy was. And now he was going to send a big choir of angels to sing happy, joyous songs to the world. He's here, he's come, go and see him, my little boy. Now, where would you send a splendid choir? To a big concert hall, maybe, or a palace, perhaps. Well, God sent his choir to sing for shepherds watching their sheep outside Bethlehem. God must have thought shepherds were very important indeed, because they were the ones he chose to tell the good news first, the first Noel. That night, some shepherds were out in the open fields warming themselves by a campfire, when suddenly their sheep started jumping around. They were frightened by something. The olive trees rustled, and there was a sound of wings beating. The shepherds turned around, and standing in front of them was a huge lighted figure, blazing in the darkness. "Don't be afraid of me," the bright shining angel said. "I haven't come to hurt you. I've come to bring you happy news that is for everyone, everywhere." Today, in David's town in Bethlehem, God's Son has been born. You can go see him. He's sleeping in a manger. Behind the angel, they saw what appeared as a strange glowing cloud, except it wasn't a cloud, it was angels, a great many angels, surrounded by light. They were singing a beautiful song. Glory to God be fame and honor in all blessings. Then, as quickly as they had appeared, the angels left. The shepherds left their fire and their sheep and raced down a grassy hill and went through the gates of Bethlehem, looking for the manger in which the angel had said God's Son was sleeping. At last, they reached the tumble-down stable. They caught their breath, and quietly they tiptoed inside. They knelt on the dirt floor. They had heard about this promised child, and now he was here. Heaven's Son, the maker of the stars, a baby sleeping in his mother's arms. The baby would be like that bright star shining in the sky that night. A light to light up the whole world, chasing away darkness, helping people to see. And the darker the night got, the brighter the star would shine. Far away in the east, three wise men saw the very same star. The star that God had put in the sky when Jesus was born. They were sure it was a sign that baby king had been born. They had been waiting for this star. They knew it would come. "He's here," they shouted. "He's here." The next day at dawn, they packed up their camels, wrapped gifts for the baby. They brought their most precious treasures of all, frankincense, gold, and myrrh. Special, sparkling, lovely smelling, gleaming things, just right for a king. They rode their camels a very long way, night and day and night, to the little town of Bethlehem. They followed the star through the streets of Bethlehem to a little house. But wait, it wasn't a palace. There wasn't any guards, or servants, or flags, or red carpets, or trumpets, or anything. Did they get it wrong, or was this what God meant? Sure enough, under the star with his mother, they found him, the baby king. Three men knelt before the little king. They took off their rich royal turbans and gleaming golden crowns. They bowed their noble heads to the ground and gave him their sparkling treasures. But this child was a new kind of king, and though he was the Prince of Heaven, he had become poor, and though he was the mighty God, he had become a helpless baby. This king had not come to be the boss. He had come to be a servant. This is the story that has been passed down to us. The story of the baby king. The story of God's own son who came to be with us. And this is the beautiful story we pass on to you. Come and meet the shepherds. Hear their stories. Pet their sheep. Come and meet the wise men. Ask them questions about their journey. You can even come and see the whole family, the Holy Family, Mary and Joseph and baby Jesus. You can even take your picture with them to remember and share this moment. And maybe you too will want to share this story with others this season. The story of the baby king, the story of God's own son.